I see we are MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So talking about grappling as always. So before I do, just a quick word on my sponsor. So Simplified Debt. Simplified Debt are a company that help people who are having financial difficulties at the moment. So anybody looking to kind of have a chat with someone about it and just find out what options they've got, then definitely hit up Simplified Debt. What I'll do is I'll put their number and website just across the bottom of the screen. If you are contacting them, just quote either the MMA UK BJJ show or the Scottish MMA Awards, and they will offer a free, friendly, confidential service. Now, talking about grappling then, so it's going to be SGI 11. So SGI is returning. And it's going to be at the usual place, Maryhill Community Hall in Glasgow. Now, unbelievable venue. Anybody that's ever been either a spectator or even a competitor at SGI will all tell you the same thing. The atmosphere is absolutely unbelievable. The spectators are on top of the action, which is always great. It's always really, really good. So we always see unbelievable matchups. We've seen amazing matchups for the first 10, and number 11 is going to be no different. Now, got some top grapplers, male and female, across all belt levels, are going to be on display in Maryhill on Saturday. So now, anybody looking for tickets, hit up the Facebook page of Scottish Grappling. It will take you through their ticket site, Eventbrite, and you will get all the ticket details through there. In regards to pay-per-view, I don't know if there is pay-per-view, but there certainly will be video getting done. So definitely keep an eye out for that after the show has been aired on Saturday. So now my next guest then is going to be on the show that night. So Kim Murdoch of Ronin Grappling. Kim comes out of a fantastic gym, obviously under Giles Garcia, the human backpack, or as I like to call Giles, the Scottish Yoda. So Giles runs an amazing gym at Ronin, and all his competitors are all fantastic. Every one of them comes with a different style, and Kim's style is again quite unique, and she's going to be displaying that on Saturday night up against Ima. I hope I say this right. I'm not even going to try it. Ima. Yeah, so Ima, we all know who Ima is. So, but listen, Kim, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's everything with you then? So obviously training at Ronin. As I said, great setup Giles has got. Really good, friendly atmosphere as well in the gym.
It is. It's really friendly, very welcoming. Everybody's dead supportive. Coaches and like training partners alike. It's a really great environment. And a lovely gym. Just like aesthetically, it's really nice as well. Like there's a lot of the variation in like the styles and the coaches is brilliant as well. There's kind of something for every type of grappler, I think, and classes on like all throughout the day, so you can always find time to go.
Yeah, it's great as well. Obviously, because he's got like the sauna and all that in there, and he's got obviously the gym, and and it's just like the showers, obviously different showers and so on. So, and that's what he said. Like anytime, but when I talked about coming in, he's like, yeah, we'll do this, and then we'll do the sauna, and then everybody has a shower, and he makes sure the place is clean.
Oh, it's immaculate.
Yeah, and it's absolutely sweet. You pretty much eat your dinner off of Giles's mats.
You could, but I fear for your life if you did
that. Like, Giles, I'm just having my dinner here. No, you are not.
Somebody did try and bring in a bag of crisps recently, and that was severely frowned upon. So I wasn't.
But it is great. I remember he set it up, and I'd say that obviously COVID came, and it was a bit of a nightmare for him. But then obviously things are definitely booming for him at the moment, as he's doing absolutely brilliant. Different classes as well. I mean, you guys cater for every person.
Yeah. Like, so there's all sorts. I mean, there's a women's plus class every Thursday for non-binary and trans as well, which is great. It's really inclusive. It's really welcoming and open. So there's for anybody that might not feel as though a grappling gym is a place for them because of like preconceived ideas, which I completely get. I've been to other gyms as well. You know, it's actually a really great way to get started if you're not sure about going to mixed classes. So that's been brilliant. And yeah, there's, you know, we have a wrestling coach as well on Sunday mornings. Cammy, he's brilliant. You know, it's a great way to blow off the cobwebs of a Saturday night, 9:30 wrestling class on Sunday. So yeah, there's all sorts, like, and it's great to be able to mix it up with gi and no gi, and there's different coaches for each. So it's a great place to train.
Yeah, listen, a lot of great people. A lot of people I've trained with over the years as well. So I saw my boy Pete McTaggart obviously in there. So absolutely love Pete McTaggart. So I saw
Yeah, it's great.
yeah, so he's now at Ronin and absolutely loving it again. The last time I spoke to him, he said the best movie he'd ever made. So
Yeah. He's great to train with, actually. Like, even for, like, there's quite a difference in size between him and I, but he's a really good training partner, very, like, active in a role. And, you know, sometimes you train with somebody bigger than you, you know, you get smushed. He's actually brilliant for that. Like, he's really keeps going and keeps moving. Yeah, good role.
yeah, he looks like Carol Pilkington as well. Obviously, Pete. So an idiot abroad. So,
He's an idiot in Glasgow.
an idiot in Glasgow, yeah. But nah, we absolutely love Pete. I'd say that. I was I've been training with Pete for I think he's been doing it almost 9 years, maybe
Yeah,
8, 9 years. So, and I remember obviously we started training together,
yeah,
and obviously we've seen each other, so we regularly follow each other's progress to
yeah.
see how each other are doing. So, but he's definitely an idiot in Glasgow. So, what about you then? Your own training? I mean, how's your own? I know you mentioned you were at the open mat yesterday, and how
So
often
yeah,
do you get?
I probably managed to get in like 4 times a week, if I can. You know, usually a class followed by an open mat. I don't always stay for the full open mat, but yeah, just depending on what kind of availability I've got, I'll be there. And yeah, I mean, it's great to have. You know, there's seminars as well. There's been some really brilliant seminars that we've had like over the last year or so. Like, particularly for me as well, like for like women grapplers coming, we've had, you know, Fionn and Rosa Walsh and who else we have as well? Ashley Bendel, Sam Cook. Like, it's been amazing to get to meet these people. Like, I actually, before I changed gyms last year, so I've been with Ronan for about a year or so. And I actually, before coming to Rollins, I'd never been in the company of a female grappler with a coloured belt.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like, so then to come to these days where you have like everybody from white belt to black belt, and it's amazing to see. And it's a really, I think that's one of the best parts about the gym, really, is how you know, amazing they've been at promoting women in the sport. It's a bit of a game changer, I think.
yeah. I was going to say that as well. I mean, the female grappling scene in Scotland is unbelievable at the moment. I mean, I see you've got people across different belts and different levels, different ages, and so on as well. So you've got single people, mums,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a wide range of grappler that's out there at the moment, and they're all doing an amazing job. Every single female grappler out there.
Oh yeah, just getting on the mats in the first place is challenging enough, I think. I mean, when I first started doing it, it was my husband that got me into it. He wanted to try it. We were doing kickboxing at another gym, great gym, it was brilliant, and they started doing jiu-jitsu classes, so he wanted to kind of give it a go, and I thought, well, I'll see what it's like, you know, get to borrow the the gi, and I was like, what's the pajamas all about? And I got in trouble for calling it pajamas.
Yeah,
And then yeah, I was a bit like, to be honest, for the longest time, I didn't even go to a class without him because I was worried about. I think it's a close contact sport. It can be uncomfortable to start with. You do have to push through it, and it's worth doing. But also, I think, and probably a lot of women feel this way, where you don't want to be a crap training partner for somebody, especially if it's a bunch of guys and they're a bit more experienced than you, and you feel like they're getting stuck with you.
yeah,
And that's not the case. Like, from my experience now and knowing people better, that's not how people react to you. But you worry that that's what it's going to be like.
yeah,
So yeah, it's nice to see a few more women coming in to help people get, like, just past the door, get on the mat in the first place, and yeah.
yeah. Listen, I was the same, and I remember when I first started jiu-jitsu and just being in another guy's guard, right, and just sitting there and thinking, yeah, this isn't normal. This is not
No,
right at all. But then,
no.
as you
Made
said,
personal.
yeah, as you said, after a little bit of time, maybe after about a week or so, it was like, yeah, okay, this is what's
Yeah.
supposed to happen.
You get like desensitized to it quite quickly, I think. But the thought of it, if I'd thought about it too much before I'd started, I never ever would have tried it because
Yeah,
being that you get pretty up close and personal with people, and it doesn't even cross my mind now. But yeah, back at the start, I was like, oh sorry, no, I don't want to, and
yeah,
now I'm like feral, like, attacking people everywhere. But yeah, like it does happen quite quickly. I think once you just have to sort of like push past a little bit of a pain point.
yeah.
That's worth out there.
Yeah, listen, as there are a lot of great grapplers out there, a lot of great female grapplers in Scotland, and as I said,
Mm,
the female matches as well. I mean, you mentioned Rosa Walsh. Rosa
mm,
Walsh, multiple time fight of the night on Grapple Fest. So, and I was actually laughing with her because I said she couldn't go fight of the night on the last one because she didn't make it last long enough because it was over in quick time. So,
oh
but
God. Mm,
I mean, that shows you. I mean, like a show like Grapple Fest, where I think what was it? Fionn had. I'm sure it's about 3 fight of the nights.
mm.
Fionn had a fight of the night with Kendall Rusin,
Oh,
and like my fight of the night for the last one was Lucy Wynn, Robin Lucas,
mm,
which was an absolute amazing match.
yeah,
Ended up somebody else got the match up, but and that's what you tend to see at grappling comps, where the females tend to put on a lot better matchups,
yes,
or a lot better matchups to watch.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And one of the people, again, speaking of Rosa Walsh said that's because females, when they go out there, because they're on a specific platform, and
Mm,
what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll fight their hearts out.
yeah.
And because do you know what I mean? And it's horrible to say, there still is a bit of a gap where
Well, there
people look
just is
male
like
female.
there's no point in pretending there isn't, So I think there's maybe that little bit more pressure on women to maybe
Yeah,
perform to just try and elevate, the sport for women.
yeah,
So you do feel like there's maybe like for people like for Rosa and Fiona and the kind of the big players, they probably feel a bit of a responsibility to that to try and like push things
yeah.
forward. So extra pressure that some of the guys maybe don't have. So got to take your hat off to them for what they do.
Definitely. Listen, the gap's getting closer. It is getting
Yeah,
closer. And as I say, there'll come a point where, as I said, I think Rosa said it as well. It's like she would love to be on a show where it's like half male
yeah,
matches and half female matches,
mhm,
rather than having. Because don't get me wrong, Grapple Fest does brilliant, having like maybe half a dozen female matches. But as I say, the
mhm.
gap's getting a lot closer now.
Yeah.
So,
Let's
and
let's hope it continues to go that way.
listen, definitely, definitely. What about SGI then? So for you, I mean, how did you find out you were going to be on SGI 11?
Well, I mean, so a while back, Giles had kind of put it out to some of the kind of regular competitors if they fancied their names being put forward for it. So I did. I just said, well, see what happens, see if anything kind of comes of it. And then there was announcements being made on the Facebook page. It was actually Fran who we were talking about earlier, my nemesis, the lovely woman that she is. And then she messaged me. She was like, "I just seen your name on this thing," and I was like, "Am I?" Like looking at my phone. So I think the original matchup ended up getting changed for one reason or another. And then spoken to Giles, and he, I think between him and Emma's coach, felt that it would be a good pairing for each other. So I have rolled with her before. She's lovely, and I think we'll probably be quite evenly matched on the day. So hopefully we can put on an entertaining scrap.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I've seen both of you in matchups, so definitely looking forward to this one. As I say, it's going to be a good start to the show. I know that you're on quite early. I think they've got some of the tournament matches first, and then
Yeah.
I think you guys are the very first matchup after the first matchups on the tournament. So it'll be a good start to the show, definitely. So
Do my best.
yes. What about you then? What's your plans going forward? Because obviously SGI will be your main focus, but what would Kim Murdoch love to see herself doing for the rest of the year?
Well, I mean, I'm going to try and get a few more competitions, like get my name down for a few more. I've not travelled, like we spoke about earlier. I've not actually travelled out of like Scotland to do anything. So I'm thinking about seeing what might be suitable for me a bit further afield, mostly for just to try and get in a division that has more than 2 or 3 people. Because
Yeah.
anytime I've competed, it's been, and it's only, to be honest, I only started competing like a year this time last year when I started. So and I've only done 4 up until this point. And it's always been a couple of us there, maybe 3 max. So yeah, it would be nice to go somewhere with like a fuller division and just see if I can work my way through it to the podium. That would be great. So that would probably be my sort of next thing I'd like to achieve if I can.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say a lot of good competitions out there.
Mm.
Further afield. So I'd say there's great ones in Scotland. But yeah, down south and all that, or even like Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland's got a crazy female grappling scene, like
Yes,
really
they
crazy. So
do. They do. I was matched with a girl. This was my first competition after I got a blue belt, and I don't mind telling you, I got absolutely leathered. And
listen, we've all been there. We've all been there.
one of the girls there was from Ireland, Lisa Farrelly. Her name is. You've probably seen her before.
Yeah.
She's incredible. I think she's just got her purple belt. Yeah, I mean, like, I think, yeah, she comes from a really solid gym. So yeah, I think the scene over there seems like it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Team Rhino.
Yeah,
So
that's the one.
Lisa's from, yeah, so one of the kind of top teams. There's quite a few
Mm,
big teams in Ireland, so
mm,
but Team Rhino's definitely up there. But listen, Kim
mm.
Murdoch's coming to SGI to take over on Saturday. So
Yeah, no
so
pressure.
listen, we're looking forward to seeing you. As we always love seeing Ronin come out and represent. So yeah, Kim Murdoch versus Ema this Saturday. Kim, anybody you want to shout out to? Any friends, family members, teammates? Don't mention Pete McTaggart. All right,
Not
everybody else
again.
bar Pete McTaggart. Pete McTaggart was one of the guys. I remember we were rolling, and Pete McTaggart would sweat on everybody, right? And we
Oh,
always used to laugh about it because you know
don't
yourself.
we
You go
all
to
do
gym. Yeah,
that?
yeah, but there's some people maybe sweat just a little bit more than others. And Pete was one of them. So we always used to slag him off for it, but he's
Oh,
still a
bless
great
him.
guy.
Yes.
but yeah, anybody you
Who
want to shout out to?
well, yeah, I gotta mention my husband because he's the best. And he's actually been, so he does jiu-jitsu as well, and he's been injured for a while now.
Yeah.
His ACL exploded.
Ooh,
So he's been out for quite a while, but even though he doesn't get to train, he's still very supportive of me training, and he's always at my
yeah,
comps, and he'll be there cheering me on and the weekend. So gotta mention him. Let's say it must be frustrating as hell for him to be sitting out. And it's I appreciate it a lot that he is so supportive. And also, I mean, just the team at Ronan's in general, like the team and the coaches and how great they are. It's helped me so much in the last year to develop. And we have that great women's plus team as well that deserve a shout out, all of their own. Thanks, hello guys. And anybody else? Oh, Mandy just messaged me to say she's watching, so I'll say hi to her.
Hi, Mandy.
And I'll get in trouble if I don't mention Hillbilly specifically. He did tell me that I gotta give him a shout out. Let me just see what it was he told me to say. He's great, amazing, best guy ever. He's no, he's in all seriousness, he's been really helpful to me. Like he kind of takes time out of his training to give me a hand as well. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Listen, and anybody that Kim's missed out, you guys all know who you are. I said, if we were to sit here thanking everybody, Kim, you know yourself, it'd be a whole other show.
That's
But there's lots of people. I mean, as I said, anybody that does grappling, there's always lots of people that are around us that kind of help us or
yeah.
inspire us to even get up and go out and go to the gym. Because as I said, it's for a lot of people, it's tough just to get
Mm,
to the gym. And
yeah,
then when you're there, it's amazing. I'd say amazing things happen.
that's true.
So big shout out. And you mentioned obviously your husband, so big shout out to the husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends,
Yeah,
whoever. Because as I say, without you guys, as I say, we would never ever be able to do this. So
very true.
um, mine's kicks me out. My wife kicks me out to the gym. She's like, get out, Go.
Off you
She packs my
go.
bag and says, "Right, on you go. I'll see you in 2 hours." So, but no, definitely a big shout out to them. So,
Definitely.
guys, there we go. Then we've got Kim Murdoch. It's going to be up against Ima this Saturday, the 22nd of April. As I mentioned, ticket availability for SGI. Head over to the Facebook page for Scottish Grappling. You've all got all the ticket information through there. SGI is quite punctual as well, so in regards to their times, all right. So, so if you are going to see a specific person, make sure you're in the venue and you've got your seat, because you definitely do not want to miss this. I mean, this is an amazing night of grappling. I mean, we've got some of the top Scottish grapplers are going to be on the card against grapplers from further afield. As I said, Kim's taking on another Italian, all right, in Ima. So big shout out to Fran as well. Big shout out to her. So, but listen, Kim, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me on a Sunday afternoon. So. But I'll be there. I'll be there next week. So I'm doing the post-fight interviews. So obviously they're catching people after their matchup. So listen, fingers crossed we get a chat with you next Saturday evening. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thanks again, Kim. Have a good afternoon. All right.
Thank you. You too. Bye.